We are so excited to be joining you here on Copa Community Day.
Yes, and we get to compete in a demo jam. This is almost as exciting as the NCAA basketball March Madness tournament. Wendy, do you watch basketball?
Oh, Matt, you know I'm really more of a FIFA girl myself. Come on.
Oh, yeah, I know how much you love soccer, but it is March Madness, and we have the Sweet 16 games tonight. So what if we had a CPQ implementation with new products, price books, resulting in 16 sweet new price book entries? How could we deploy all of those data records from Sandbox to our production work? Can you show the screen? Share our screen? Perfect.
Well, Matt, since this is a DevOps audience, we should highlight our integration with Copado and how they utilize the OwnBackup API during deployments. I personally hate having to recreate data records in different orgs. It's more complicated than filling out a tournament bracket, let's be honest.
Yeah, and I know the deployment will go much better than my bracket, which was totally busted on day one. We can control a CPQ implementation, even though it involves many changes to configuration and data objects, along with updates to our metadata. We need to take the records for products, price books, and price book entries in our sandbox and deploy them to production.
This is very common in CPQ projects. We also see this in many other applications like Viva, Encino, and Conga. The Copado data deployer allows admins and developers to move the records in these data configuration projects from one Salesforce org to another. Don't you wish you could easily update some of those bad picks you had, Matt?
Don't remind me. I'm from New Jersey. I didn't even pick Princeton or FDU. So a deployment like this introduces the need for source control of your data. When data is included as part of a release, it is critical to know what was added and changed in the deployment. That's where OwnBackup and Copado integration have you covered.
Just like having a betting expert on your side, a Copado user story with a requirement to deploy data can leverage data backups to keep you in the know. As you can see here, just add URL callouts to the OwnBackup API to run a backup on selected objects both before and after deployment. This will allow for easy comparison of the two different points in time to identify all differences.
Yeah, so exactly. We can go in, of course, I'm logged out. We can go into OwnBackup, and I can show you here on this homepage all the different Salesforce orgs that are being protected. If I go into my production org, I can actually see all the activity of the objects in that environment.
This would be very difficult to do without a before and after snapshot of the data. So if we had a CPQ project, Matt, we can view the changes to product, price books, or even price book entry records?
Yeah, I can actually go in and select products on this dashboard and then see how many records were added, changed, and removed. You can see here as I drill down into the detail exactly what's happening. So we can see, I can go to that point in time and see what each object looked like in that particular backup.
Oh, very cool. So this is a good way then to find all records that were added, deleted, or changed. I can see here the new products, price books, and there are the price book entry records. It looks like after the initial deployment, there were changes to some of those records though. So can we see the detail of the updates to existing records?
Of course, I'm signed out again. Yeah, so we can go in and identify exactly what occurred, but more importantly, see the detail of those changes. We want to look at, let me go back to that job. We want to look at exactly what happened. And if I go into price book entries, we can go down at the record level and see exactly what was changed. So you can see here the values before and after.
Nice. This really is like source control of your data. The ability to identify the changes not only at the record level, but also for each individual field ensures all data modifications are tracked. Imagine if you can modify some of your bracket selections. You might actually have something to root for tonight, Matt.
The truth hurts. I could have used something like OwnBackup Smart Alerts to track changes over time and help me make better decisions. You can think of them like an assistant coach providing another set of eyes on your Salesforce org activity.
So I know we highlighted our integration with Copado today, but there really is so much more to comprehensive protection of your Salesforce data and metadata. With automated daily backups of production and sandboxes, you can confidently implement system improvements knowing you are covered from any mistakes.
Mistakes? Oh, if we had a release with as many mistakes as my first 2 rounds of bracket picks, we would need to roll back the entire deployment.
Okay, so if the clock is ticking down on your project, stay out of foul trouble with the team of Copado and OwnBackup for the win.